Hello, 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 friend shapes. I hope you're having a fantastic time. And like I promised, I brought an amazing friend with me. So let's welcome Carrowinabox to the stage.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good time zone, wherever you are. My name's Caro. I use they, them. I'm a Metal Gear Solid speedrunner from Ireland. I am delighted to be here at Speed Doctorthon 2024, and with me on commentary, I have the wonderful Nick RP Green. Say hello, Nick.
Hello, Nick.
He understood the assignment, chat. So, we're here to showcase what has actually turned out to be a full game run of Metal Gear Solid 2 on the very easy difficulty. Between you and me, my tanker is a little bit rusty, so like we'll have to see how it goes. But I did fairly well in my planned warm up earlier today, so let's just get into it, shall we? Actually, it was as good a run as like I would be hoping to be able to replicate on stream for you all. But let's see how it goes. Time will begin when I select radar type 1 here. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
Ooh.
And we're off. So, a little bit about me. I'm primarily a Metal Gear Solid speedrunner. I have been playing this game in a speedrun capacity since November of last year. I have been making my way up the ranks, I suppose. I've run in a few events this year already, and this is my second one in like a week. I have another in-person one the middle of next month, which I'm very excited for. And we get going here by bypassing that guard, going straight into deck B. There's a guard here. You get spotted, but of course, like the alert won't trigger until the actual radio call in. Unlike Metal Gear Solid itself, so we can just like roll past that security camera, no problem, and up to deck D cruise quarters. We have to go in here. There's a second camera. Regardless of whether we get spotted or not, doesn't matter. We'll be out of the way too quick for any reinforcements to come in. We're now on deck E, the bridge. There has been an incident here. There are some dead bodies around us, and that's no good. We are heading out to take on the first boss fight of the run. This is going to be the most scuffed tanker run you've ever seen in your life. Say hello to Olga Gorlukovic, everyone. Nick, you take over.
So Olga here is going to take
before you jump in. I wanted to point out I don't think we can hear the game at all. I'm not quite sure if something has happened since setup, but
we can't.
I'm listening to the stream and I don't hear it at all.
Do you have anything?
Oh no.
No, now I'm thrown off.
Oh, there we go. I hear it now.
Okay, now you hear it. Okay, there must have been a problem with my OBS settings, and now this is kind of flown off the rails, so to speak.
Didn't mean to screw it up.
Yeah, no worries. This is going to be extremely scuffed. I haven't landed a single shot on her yet. She's going to aim for the light.
So one of the things that MGS2 did from MGS1 is it introduces headshots. So here, Caro's going to be going for as many headshots as possible.
Yeah.
You'll see that Olga's interacting with the environment. So she shot out the top, and she shot the lights. Wherever you move, she's going to shoot that light again until Caro shoots it.
Yeah.
And now Caro's just looking for those last couple of shots. Just looking for that hit in the heads. It's coming.
No, not quite. She
One
is
more.
being very, very insistent. One more. That was unfortunately a body shot
there.
Oh, come on. I need a headshot.
Shot in the leg.
and I knocked her over. She is hanging on by the skin of her teeth, chap. There we go. Finally, okay. Technical difficulties aside, that is Olga Gerlukovic, the first boss of the run. So with that, we now have access to a lethal weapon. We have access to the USP. We are going to be using that shortly in a fairly well-known second boss fight and the final boss fight of the tanker section of the game. Roll back down here into deck D. We will be taking an alert here, but that's no problem. The guards will be coming up. That's fine. They will try to kick us down, but they'll miss. We can take an alert here. Back down to deck B. And instead of going out the other way, we head down and take a left into the lounge, where you'll see some guards chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool. We need to. Well, actually, there's another way you can. Get through this section of the game, but we are not using the Prozac skip here. That was a skip discovered by Chewable Prozac in January of 2023, I believe. We are not using that. We are going down the old-fashioned way. And oops, I may have fucked that up slightly. I was supposed to trank that guard, but we are just hanging on by the skin of our teeth here. We are just immediately going to adapt. Essentially, like, once we get through these guards, it's a clean run up to the end of the area. If I'm fast enough, that is, which I'm not.
Luckily, on this difficulty, Snake is built like a brick.
Yeah, Snake is fortunately built like a tank. Once we get in, at least you get to hear the awesome alert evasion theme. Our USP is unfortunately out of ammunition, which is suboptimal. I believe there is some right there.
Thankfully, that is some USP ammo.
Yeah.
So Karen needs the USP ammo here too. The like sets of towers there are some. Oh, there we go. I got it.
There we go. Okay, yeah, that is the first set of Semtex we need to clear in this overall run. Proceeding into deck 2 port. Very dark here. Can't see feck all, but we do have our weapon equipped.
Caro is coming up to the second of the 2 tanker bosses. The second boss is just a guard rush.
Yep.
With lots of different guards. But can they make it through this room undetected? Not quite.
No, yeah,
it shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Yeah, that's no issue. Unlike most of the usual rooms in this game, if you get spotted here, it's an immediate alert. Luckily, on very easy, alerts clear once we proceed into the next room. And now we're here. We're going to be attacked by a string of guards shortly. This is Guard Rush. Nick, take over.
So what Caro's going to do is they're going to run forwards and start taking out some of these guards. You can do this lethally or non-lethally. Caro here's opting to go for non-lethal, so it's just a single shot anywhere on the body, and they'll have those guards taken out pretty easily. The one guard hiding behind the box is always a bit of a pain.
Yeah, got him.
Gotcha.
Move forward.
And then there's going to be 3 final guards that come in from the right-hand sides, and 3 quick shots on them. That's the second one. That's the third one.
Okay, yeah. Non-lethal is slower, but at the very least, it's an option for people who are going for the awards on higher difficulties. I wonder how this will go. There's a glitch
So
here.
now Carrow's in the...
There's a glitch here you can use. I'm in the holds.
Carrow's now in the holds, and they've got to get past all of these guards that are listening to this speech. Getting spotted by any of these guards is an instant game over. So they're going to take out the guard over there.
And unfortunately get spotted. Whoops.
So unfortunately, Snake blocked the projector there, so that caused the guards to wonder what was going on. But it's okay. Quick reset.
Try it again.
You got this.
This is probably the part of the run I'm most nervous about.
I don't know why you've been killing it so far. Especially with that recovery early on.
Oh, there is a specific line you need to take that I'm not taking, unfortunately.
It's a fine balance, making sure that you're far enough north so that Snake is walking underneath the projector, but not so far north that you accidentally bump one of the guards.
Yeah,
You'll get it.
hoping so.
It's all good. Just going to use the tram lines there.
Whoops. Okay. Yeah, I needed to tranquilize that guard. I'm not. You can tell I'm not used. You can tell I'm not used to this room, but at the very least, I have the setup right. This is meant to be a beginner-friendly. This is meant to be a beginner-friendly version of the run, but my tanker run is a crash course in things that can very easily go wrong, unfortunately. So I need to take out that guard first before I move.
Would this perhaps be a good moment to chime in with donations?
Yeah, it definitely would.
Fantastic. Because early on we've heard from Iris, who gave some money for pickles. But now we have another $25.01 donation from Iris that just says mushrooms. But also, we had $5 come in from none other than Nick RP Green, who said, "Kept you waiting, huh? Let's see some Snake." And then the last one actually comes directly to you, Caro, from none other than Duck, who says, "Hey, Caro, I usually tell you to get in the sea, but don't get in the sea today. Good luck. You got this. I love you. Less than 3.
I'll do my best. Thank you, Duck. That's my girlfriend looking out for me with a donation.
Big thank you to everyone who donated with the to make the tanker section of this possible. Because without it, you don't get to see this much solid Snake.
We're through. We're through.
Into hold number 2.
Fantastic.
Into hole 2.
So Cara there's swapped the projector so that the guards are looking the other way, so we can try and get past.
Oh, not quick enough. I kind of need to get into more of a flow state there, and I did not.
This piece of movement is very tight. You're trying to squeeze between a guard and the sort of whatever the metal unit is behind him.
Oh.
That guard's gonna.
Okay, yeah, that guard is gonna spot me. I need to run and gun this. This is far from ideal, but polishing up my tanker live on stream is something.
This is what people donated for. Sometimes it's fun to see runners do the hardest content that they don't normally do.
That's it. That'll do it. Don't forget to roll.
No. So it's 2 guards, and then you need to roll. Yeah, I mistimed the roll. Not a good roll. I need to throw out that roll. It's a bad roll. I wouldn't have that for breakfast in the morning. Oh.
And not to add to the pressure, but Duck says in chat, "Come on, I gave up a date night for this."
We're through.
There we go. That's hold 2 done.
Let's get it. Okay. Hold 3.
Wrong camera.
Oh, yeah. Oops. That'll happen.
So this hold is what the whole of this mission for Snake was building up to. He's on a mission to take photos of the Marines' new Metal Gear, which is this big giant machine that's looming over the whole room. He's got to take 4 photos, one from the front left, one from the front right, one from the front, and then one of the Marine Corps logo, which is the last one they're going to get here.
I wonder how many of those I actually got.
That should be the first 3.
At the very least.
This handy dandy computer just happens to be here, and Otacon written an algorithm so that Snake can upload the photos to directly to Otacon, and he'll give a bit of a brief summary of them. Luckily, we can skip that dialogue.
Oh.
Wasn't a fan of that front left photo.
No.
So there's still the front left and the Marine Corps logos to go. That's front right. You got that one. He was happy with that one.
Okay.
And then a quick technical note for the two of you. When there is a chance during the run, if we could address a couple of quick audio things.
Sure. Yeah, we can do that. Let's do this again. Need the Marines logo.
It is a fact that players in favor of such a policy are attempting to derail our own raid project. But I promise you that they will not succeed. Good. It is my greatest wish.
Okay. Hang on a second. Almost done here, chat. Hopefully. Oh, no, I need it.
Never to have her or her children experience
Might be best just to go for the original.
Go for the original.
Down the right hand side. So you go north, and where that sleeping guard is on the right.
Yeah. Okay.
move in undetected and make its landing on any shore level. You must be tense. Let's do a little stretching, shall we? Right.
Good. Oh, it's gonna have to be careful here because the guards are now being told which way to look.
Yeah.
So there's a good chance that here the Marine Commandant will give them instructions that like says intruder in the back, and they'll all turn around, and if you're stood there, then Snake will get spotted.
2 more, front left, and this isn't going well.
So that should be front left. So the Marine Corps logo, I'd go for the sort of the one that you're expected to go for in a casual run, because it doesn't seem like the trick to getting it is working here.
So, Nick, could you maybe explain to me what the difference is between like a normal run and like a tanker version of the run, and why this is so different?
So it's just the Metal Gear Solid 2 split into 2 parts. The tanker makes up the sort of prologue to the game, which is playing as Snake, and then once we're done with the tanker, we'll move on to the plant. So the sort of standard any % run of Metal Gear Solid 2 covers both. but then there are individual level categories just for doing tanker and just for doing plant. I think it's fair to say Carrow is much more experienced with just the plant.
Yeah.
So sort of adding this tanker as a donation incentive, was really sort of put Carrow trying to get out of their comfort zone and do something a little bit different.
Yeah. I feel like, in the interest of putting on a good show for the chat, should we move on? I'm definitely out of my depth. I'm definitely out
for the Marine Corps logo.
Yeah.
You want to go directly north from where you are now. Go up and to the right hand side of Ray. So there's a sleeping guard there. Take him out.
Yeah.
Just track him. Go stand in the top right hand corner.
Yeah.
This isn't the speedrun method of getting this. This is the casual method. And now look up.
Yeah.
Keep looking up. Keep looking up.
Yeah.
Marines.
Okay.
That's your Marine Corps logo.
Yeah.
Say normally in the speedrun, you don't have to take that photo with the Marine Corps logo in it. You just have to point the camera in the right direction, but it can be a bit finicky. I don't know. Carrow's playing this on PS5.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any difference between the different versions of the game for it. So sometimes it works. Sometimes in this case it doesn't.
Front left.
So he's still after the front left, which is weird because you took the front left like straight away.
I did. Good. That should be it. Oh.
He's got to be careful. He's now on the intruder in the back.
Ah, fuck. Okay. In the interest of actually putting on a good show tonight, maybe I think we should move on.
Yeah, let's move on and we can continue with the rest of the part of the run. But thank you so much for showing off this beginning section.
Yeah, I did the best. I did the best I could. I came in fairly unprepared, but regardless, now we're moving on to the plant section of the run.
Should say that literally was the last. So there is no more tanker to see.
Exactly.
So nothing is being missed.
Yeah. You
Before
don't miss it.
we go too far,
Yeah?
we had a quick audio thing.
Okay.
Can we lower Nick's audio in Discord just a smidge?
Okay.
Nick's a little louder than the other people here, which is fine, just for balancing. And then if we could bring game audio up a little bit, it's pretty quiet.
Sure. I'll do that. Just go to desktop. Yeah, that's up a bit. Okay. Now we're on to plants.
All right.
Sorry I couldn't get the W on tanker, but you did get to see a bit of a baptism of fire. Now we're into more familiar territory. The run starts in the deep sea dock of Strut A. And
We're now back in Carrow's comfort zone.
Yeah,
it's gonna be easy riding from here on out.
Very easy riding, actually.
Easy riding from here on out.
Oh no!
God, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Well, I did give Nick the layup for that. Okay. So we need to access the node here, not node. Essentially, doing this unlocks the radar for the entirety of the run on VE. And we don't need to do that again. We're straight back into a tutorial section because you probably already know this, but we are not currently playing as Solid Snake. We are playing as someone A, with blonde hair, and B, a Foxhound operative who had never actually had any field experience before. Say hello to Raiden, aka Jack. two unconscious.
And there's no controversial opinions about him, I'm sure.
No controversial opinions about Raiden whatsoever. No, he was fully accepted, embraced with open arms by the fan community on this game's release in 2001 or 2002 on my side of the world. Ignore the two unconscious guards there next to the forklift. That's probably nothing. Definitely nobody who made it in here a few minutes before we did and is on their way through the big shell. We are, and incidentally, we are indeed on the big shell, a totally legitimate offshore cleanup facility with nothing else going on whatsoever. Definitely not a major plot point to be revealed in about 20 minutes or so. We have to make our way in. We crawl through that fence, pick up the M9. You're usually supposed to pick that up after the guards wake up in the docks, but if you don't, it's also available on the roof. So we're still in tutorial mode. We're told how to flatten against walls and knock to distract guards. That's something that'll be coming in handy a little later, but this is all now just cutscenes and codecs and stuff. We've been introduced to the hanging mode. We won't really be using that in this run, but it's an option. It's a thing you can
use it. Use it one moment where it's mandatory, and that's it.
Yeah, that's a
The start of Plant is a pretty slow burn, particularly if you are wanting to watch all of the cutscenes.
Yeah.
There's been a bit of controversy about it on Twitter recently.
Has there?
There was a big account on Twitter about retro games. They found some old review of Metal Gear Solid 2 where it was just constantly complaining about the number of cutscenes in it. But that's what you get in Metal Gear. You know, these days we know what we're getting into with a Metal Gear game. You're gonna watch some cutscenes.
Exactly. It's like, my guy, have you never played a Metal Gear game before? Speaking of which,
I mean, at the time of the release of Metal Gear Solid 2, no, not many people had played a Metal Gear game.
Apparently not. No, this game was this game was a massive success on release, but as much of a reputation as Metal Gear Solid had actually garnered for itself on release in 1998, Konami and everyone involved really decided to step things up for the sequel. Or I guess you could call it Metal Gear 4 if you wanted to, if you were going by release timeline, but we're not. This is a direct sequel to Metal Gear Solid, originally released in 1998. A lot of new mechanics, new features. That was Peter Stillman, by the way. He is the bomb disposal expert drafted in to help dispose of the C4 placed in apparently structurally dangerous locations around the plant, of which there are two separate areas, Shell 1 and Shell 2. We can't get over to Shell 2 right now because we don't have the right security clearance. But what we can do is make our way into Strut D, avoiding that security camera on the way in. As said earlier, during the Baptism of Fire tanker run I did, once you go into a room on VE, the alert state clears. There will be backup guards called there because that's one of the guards who routinely radios it. Contacts HQ with status updates. He's supposed to say nothing here, but he's saying nothing at all because he's been knocked out by our handy dandy M9. We trank him, we take care of the first of 6 bombs we have to defuse across this section of the run, and we cartwheel our way out onto the DE connecting bridge. By the way, cartwheeling or aerialing, depending on who you ask, is the main way Raiden usually gets around. There's no real point to actually using it here. We lock on and trank this guard pretty much as soon as he rounds the corner there. Or if you get him on an earlier cycle, you'll be able to take him out as you're coming up the stairs. You will get spotted there though, so make sure you time your shot perfectly or you'll be facing an alert. Like, it's no problem. Like, you're maybe like 100 yards from the entrance to the Strut E parcel room anyway. So we go in there, we head up to the heliport, and we get ourselves a nice cutscene here, which obviously we're not going to sit through because this is a speed run. We meet with Olga Gorlukovich, whom you saw earlier. She definitely won't be coming back in this story, absolutely not. Once we're free of that, we cartwheel a couple of times up on the heliport here. Pay no attention to the Harrier 2, upon which this bomb is located. That definitely won't be reappearing later in the run either. trank that guard on our way back down. I messed that up in practice earlier and had to deal with an alert and backup guards coming in. That wasn't a fun time. Even on very easy, having to deal with the backup guards. As you saw in the engine room, the tanker, it's not a fun time. Also, not a fun time is being caught out by claymores on this one particular connecting bridge we're crossing literally right now. But in any case, getting hit by one of them clears it out, because on VE they don't respawn. Let's see how well I get my pathing here. No, okay, that's fine actually. We were in detonation radius, but we didn't get hit because we were moving as it went off and not caught in the blast radius, which is just fine by me.
That was actually just fine. An alert came in, but you didn't actually lose any time at all because of it. So yeah, there was no problem with that bridge at all.
Didn't get spotted by the ciphers either. Just completely running and gunning it straight into strut F. Take that guy out for the funny. Usually, if a cycle lines up, you can just jump straight down onto him from the crates after you defuse that bomb. We're going to take an alert here. It's unavoidable, as is this guy. So we tranquilize him and cartwheel our way into the strut A pump room. There is a much more difficult way of dealing with the bomb in this room. It requires essentially like frame perfect placement and another use of the coolant rise trick, which I showed you on strut E. We are not going to be doing that here. We are going to be doing this the normal way. We are going to be essentially picking up that ration as mandatory, crawling through and discovering that there is indeed a bomb placed in the pump room here. That is number 4 of 6. We find our way out. The other coolant rise method isn't beginner friendly and only saves maybe like 20 seconds of the overall course of the run. But it's a nice to have, which I haven't quite learned yet. Maybe I'll be able to get it in. Maybe I'll be able to get it in check for my next run. Avoid the guard here. He is over on the far left. We will get noticed, but we don't get spotted. We just roll past him and onto the AB connecting bridge, upon which we get an unskippable codec call from Rose. Frame perfect input there, by the way. I get those sometimes, and they add up. We're onto the AB connecting bridge. There are panels that make noise there, which you saw earlier, but the guard is over the other side of the bridge and otherwise wouldn't notice us. Hopefully these two don't notice us either. There's guard there. Oh, missed him, but that's fine. We didn't get an alert, and as such, the guard outside wasn't alerted to our presence either. It's my headcanon that guards in this universe are themselves alerted by an alert sound going off. I have seen this happen in other runs, not in that run though. And we also don't get to hear said guard being woken up by being kicked full force in the chest. Because that's how guards wake each other up in the Metal Gear universe. Completely swerved that backup guard, by the way. I don't usually do that very often. I got him on a slightly later cycle than usual. We're into strut C. We need to pick ourselves up center B, which essentially we don't need, but it is a story flag, so we pick it up anyway. Last of 6 bombs here. It's on the ceiling of the women's bathroom for whatever reason. That's maybe a structurally unsound part of the bathroom, I'm not sure. Or, I mean, like, all the locations so far could be total bait to actually reveal the existence of a real serious threat down at the bottom of a deep sea dock. Maybe, I don't know. Actually, turns out I do know. The big bomb has been woken up, and we have all of 6.5 minutes to actually get back to it. Because we caught that guard on a later cycle, there we do get another backup guard coming up from the south. That usually doesn't happen to me, but it did there. I don't have a whole lot to do in terms of backtracking. No, in terms of anything except backtracking at the moment. Alara, do you want to jump in with anything here?
I do. I have a couple of things to mention. Chat is also mentioning Nick's audio seems to be doubling for some reason, but that's the thing we can take care of after the timer when we're not on a time crunch.
So Discord is doubling audio on stream. Is there a way we can pause this real quick? Or I don't know if the timer is going to keep going.
It's been paused by a cutscene.
Okay. Did you unmute desktop audio?
I did. That might be.
Can you mute the Discord application capture instead?
Okay. I did that. Any better?
It should be fixed.
Okay, good.
I guess we'll find out.
Fantastic.
All right, chat, let me know. Are you still hearing me double? There we go. Fantastic. It is fixed.
Excellent.
And with that, we can continue moving on.
Yeah.
On a happier note, I have some good news for you, Caro.
Yeah?
We had another donation come in from none other than Duck.
Oh?
Who says, "Hey, Caro, you're doing good, you nerd. Don't worry. Don't let the geese take you out. You've got this. Cheering you on, less than 3.
Thank you, Duck. I really appreciate it. That is a reference to something we won't be seeing until later in the run. For now, we have to concern ourselves with the first boss of the run. I say boss. We can't hit her at all. I think I've...
First quote-unquote boss.
Yeah. See her health bar there? She has armor on. That means she can't be hit. Come on, hit the forklift, please. Yep, she did. She did eventually. She hesitated. That's not like her. Anyway, say hello to Fortune. She has a big feck-off Gatling gun with which she is currently wrecking shop. We want to stay out of the way of that thing and also pick up a few handy-dandy items along the way. This area looked suspiciously like a boss area when we were heading back through it, and it turns out to be a boss area indeed. You may have seen me crouch there at the start of the fight. Basically, we manipulated RNG to... I won't get hit there in the cutscene. We manipulated RNG to essentially ensure we get hit, which moves the fight forward a couple of phases. The elevator comes down, and it'll be a little bit longer before she starts going off on her 3-shot rampage. We are trying to move that forward as quickly as we can. Whoop, we got hit. We were standing too close to that box, but she goes for it anyway.
There we go, that's the end.
That's the end. That's Fortune, everybody. And we get a call here from Colonel Campbell. Totally real Colonel Campbell, by the way, 100% flesh and blood. We are returning up to the Strut A roof. We have been contacted by the first actual boss of this game, Fat Man, aka the setter of the C4 around the shell structure. He wants to meet us. There's a bomb on Strut E. Avoiding that claymore is more difficult than it seems. Avoiding the second one, thankfully, is piss easy because you just hug tight to the wall. Fat Man wants to see us. There is a bomb up on Strut E heliport. It's total bait, but it's story flag bait, so we need to go and defuse it for the first actual boss fight of the run. We don't need to have a weapon equipped right now. I was actually supposed to equip the M9 there, so let me just fix that real quick. Sometimes you will come out of cutscenes with either no weapons or particular weapons equipped, and you need to be mindful of those things. Take out this guard as you round the corner, flip around the corridor, around the corner, and we're back onto the good old EF connecting bridge. There's a claymore here that, for safety reasons, we pick up. We do not actually need it in this run, but for safety reasons, we pick it up. On Strut, into strut E here. There is a use for the Claymore in VE, but we are not doing that strategy. You'll see what I mean, or rather not see what I mean, in about maybe like 6 minutes or so. In the meantime, we have ourselves a boss fight to do. Back onto the heliport. No unexpected cutscenes this time.
Thankfully, we're almost at an end of bombs as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, well, at the end of one type of bomb, at least, we have some different kinds to actually deal with later on, but at the very least, this is pretty much the end point of our C4 shenanigans. Oh, and of course, like, they're an integral part of the boss fight itself. This is Fat Man. Take it away, Nick.
Fat Man, it rolls around on skateboard, roller skates. So what Crow's going to do is they're going to shoot Fat Man until he falls over, shoot him in the head a couple of times. But the fight also requires you to defuse any bombs that Fat Man places. Fat Man places 2 at the start. This should end the fight. 1 headshot.
Oh yeah,
there
okay.
We go. And now just the final bomb. That was a really, really clean fight. If you let that fight get out of hand, Fat Man will roll around the area and start putting more bombs down.
Yeah.
And then we do have the final C4.
One massive bomb.
C4 underneath his large body. It is named Fat Man after the bomb.
Yeah.
It is coincidence that he's also a rather rotund.
Exactly. In the story, on your first playthrough, Fat Man drops a dog tag there. It's Peter Stillman's dog tag, indicating that he has essentially made off with something of Stillman's own after disposing of him with those rigged bombs in Shell 2. We run into, in a way, Stillman later on, but thankfully it's in a cutscene. You don't need to see that. We do have some other cutscenes to mash through here, and it turns out everything is not as it seems on the Big Shell. The totally legitimate offshore cleanup facility has turned out to be one massive scam and a front for the location of the next Metal Gear Ray, which we saw in the tanker chapter. We won't actually be meeting the big bad mech for a little while yet, but we do need to concern ourselves with the well-being of a hostage called Richard Ames, who is currently situated in the B1 conference hall in the Shell 1 core. We have donned the battle dress uniform, aka what the Gerlukovich soldiers who are stationed in the core wear, or as I used to call it when I was younger, the bad dude's uniform. Because I played this game when I was maybe like 10 years old, and it started a lifelong love affair with this series. And now that it's actually back, and playable in a wider context, thanks to the release of the Master Collection Volume 1 in October last year, I saw that as my cue to get involved in speedrunning. You can take out that guard just for shits and giggles, or you can avoid him entirely. We take him out for shits and giggles because like, since when have you seen somebody cartwheel into somebody else and just completely knock them unconscious? Not in other games, that for sure. Down into B2. We could go to B1, but like people who have played this game at least once before know that there is nothing happening on B1 yet. You need to obtain the directional microphone. We cartwheel down here. The guards' spatial awareness on very easy is really bad, as I think you may have been able to tell. All of that dodging and weaving serves a purpose. That's actually a very tight line. It's a very loose-fitting spare uniform that Mr. X picked up for Raiden, apparently, because if you bump into a guard at all, it completely comes off, and you get yourself spotted. We did not do that. And we also need to make sure not to get spotted here in the conference hall. But you briefly saw a cutscene explaining the security measures they had. How the hell are we going to get in when it has biometric measures? This is how.
It's okay, because all of the information that Raiden is going off, he's completely confident of it, because a cyborg ninja told him.
It makes sense.
Yeah. It makes total sense. Who wouldn't trust a cyborg ninja?
If a cyborg ninja comes up to me with a katana and tells me to do something, I'm doing it. I'm not arguing with him.
It's not that ninja, though. Not that ninja.
Now, sadly, here in the UK, it is not yet 10 o'clock at night.
Not 10 o'clock.
So,
yeah.
Go find Ames. So Carrow is currently looking for Richard Ames. Ames on New Game Plus. Ames is in a different location. There he is.
Found him.
And Ames has got a pacemaker. So when you point the D mic at Ames, you can hear it clicking, and that's how he's able to find. That's how Raiden is able to find Ames. If you play, depending on the time of day you play, the hostages will change. And the best time to play is after 10 p.m. at night. So both Carrow and I are in the UK. It's currently 9:25. So
not quite. Yeah.
If we were on an hour later, but if you get that, you get what's called the Old Beauties variant, where every single hostage except for Ames is an old lady, and it's really easy to spot Ames. Carrow's here's just got to wait for that alert. You can't operate elevators on alerts. You can operate elevators on evasions and cautions. Fine to get out.
I guess the time you gain from that alert, you lose. You gain from disposing of that guard and triggering the alert. You lose by having to wait for the alert state to go down. But we are out of the Shell 1 core for now, and also Ames is dead. 07 for Ames in chat. He had his pacemaker overloaded, and he is no longer with us.
Yeah, it's worth noting any character that Raiden meets is probably going to be dead before the end of the game. Usually pretty quickly as well. Like Ames there.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, we need ourselves a weapon for the next part of the game. We found ourselves a weapon. It's a sniper rifle. It's the returning cast member from Metal Gear Solid. Although we don't really need to use it for a little bit yet.
Raiden is now running off of Ames's instructions, which I do think is a bit more sensible than trusting a cyborg ninja.
Yeah.
Though Ames is nowhere near as threatening.
Ames is nowhere near as threatening. He doesn't have a katana. That's his problem.
Alara, you might be able to ignore Ames. You might feel comfortable ignoring Ames.
So we're back into the parcel room here. And we need to proceed to strut D, from whence we can continue to the Shell 1-2 connecting bridge. There have been several sets of Semtex sensors rigged up, 6 sets of Semtex sensors, try saying that 5 times fast. You need to take one specific one out that is usually problematic for new players of this game, and sometimes even experienced veterans can be tripped up. I will show you what I mean in a second. We took that incoming codec call like a champ. I was just tapping my ear like they do in the cutscene there. I'm not entirely sure why. I do that when I'm practicing sometimes and I see a codec call come in. I think it's just a stem I have. There is a... Yep, got it. That is said problematic Semtex on top of the cipher. Like, if you hit that at all, the bridge goes boom, and you take a game over. We've seen enough game overs for one night. I need to get the last one, and it's dead centered there in front of me. Down the stairs, take another mandatory codec call from Lieutenant J.G. Pliskin, who is 100% Lieutenant J.G. Pliskin, and there's nothing nefarious or anything noteworthy going on about that whatsoever. Okay, Harrier time. Take it away, Nick.
The Harrier is probably the hardest boss in the plant run. It's a very, very technical fight. It's not, there's no real danger of getting a game over. It's all about how quickly you can take it out. This thing is fairly accurate. Carrow's already doing a pretty good job of getting some decent damage in. It's now going to go into its kill phase, where it's going to come over the top, shoot a load of bombs, try and get a shot off on it.
Not quite.
In time. Dodge out the load of bombs.
But we did avoid the clutch bombs at least.
The main thing to do with this fight is to make sure that when you're shooting the Harrier, you're already locked onto it before the shot comes in. You can shoot a shot and then lock on afterwards.
I missed him.
Not because the Harrier moves at such a pace, that shot won't land. So we'll be going into the next phase of this fight, which does become a lot easier to shoot the Harrier. We're going to come up, start shooting. Snake's decided that he's now going to start... Sorry, did I say Snake? I meant Lieutenant Junior Grey Pesca. Has decided he's going to start helping. So we'll get some we'll get some shots here as well, which helps out. It does have to be Wyden who lands the final shot, and there's just one more shot, and there it is. That's the
fight. Very narrowly avoided going into phase 3 there. Okay, we take that. Something I also...
now we learn that it's not placing it, Snake.
Oh yeah. Oh, but yeah. By the way, also the Harrier 2 from earlier, its owner. Oh no. Whoops. Well, I got in the sea. That'll make a certain member of chat happy. But yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to get the reclaim there. I wasn't quite.
It's a fairly tight angle.
It is, yeah.
Good second time round.
I think the chat comment, the donation incentive comment said, "Don't get in the sea."
Yeah. Well, I mean, I failed that mission spectacularly. But now that we've actually gotten over here, we need to flip down, hang across this ledge. This is the one use of the hanging mode you actually need to do in a very easy run, and most runs, in fact. But we proceed onto the Strut L perimeter, and this is where the chaff grenades we picked up earlier on come in handy. Roll to the third window, get spotted, that's fine. We can take one of those just fine. We get on our little shimmy.
The chaff grenade is a grenade that disrupts electronics. So at this point, normally with an alert, there'd be ciphers closing in on your location trying to shoot you. If you get shot whilst you're leaning up against the ledge like that, Wyden will just fall into the sea. The other advantage of using a chaff and getting the alert there is that if you don't have an alert after you pass that ledge, there's a very short cutscene. It's skippable, but you have to stop and pause to skip it. Of a guard who just needs to relieve himself and can't quite find a bathroom in time. It's a bit unpleasant, but it's a very, very short time save to avoid having to skip that cutscene. We now move into Shell 2's core.
And all of the scary speedrunner stuff is done with for the moment. We just have a bunch of cutscenes to actually sit through. We have to find ourselves a remote-controlled missile launcher. Is this starting to sound familiar to anyone else? It's starting to sound familiar to me. There's one very conveniently located on B1, which, considering the damage the core took earlier on, B1 is completely flooded. So we need to go fish mode. But before then, we need to rescue the president. Oh, yeah, by the way, there's the literal president of the United States in the next room. We can't get in there at the moment because the floor is electrified. And as the colonel tells us, if we test it, we'll be bacon. We do not want to be bacon. We want to be a fish instead, apparently. We need to get...
I like bacon.
Yeah, bacon is good. Could have bacon in a nice roll. Not any of those bad rolls I was making earlier on. Nice rolls only.
Speaking of food, is this a good moment to point out that your donations actually help feed some children?
That's a very good point.
Bacon for everyone!
Bacon for everyone.
Get your donations in for bacon.
Well, I can't promise bacon for them, but for example, $10, we can give high-nutrient peanut paste to malnourished kids for 10 days.
That's probably much better than bacon.
Much better than bacon. Few things are better than bacon in my estimation, but that's definitely one of them. Okay, the president, or the prez, because it's 2002 and everybody needs to be seen to be hip or with it or down with the kids, he gets a 4-letter title. And that's him there. Hopefully he's not going to run into the actual oncoming missile. I avoided that. Mr. President, get down! It's a literal action movie scenario. And thankfully he avoided it. It's very hard to actually hit him on VE. I've done that in practice a few times. It does take 2 hits to kill him on VE. It's 1 everywhere else.
It's very rare to see it, but the president is also coded as having Raiden's aerial, his cartwheel.
Oh.
So in some circumstances, you can get the president to cartwheel out of the way. It's hilarious when it happens, but it's very difficult to actually see it. It seems very random.
We didn't see that, and also we won't be seeing any more President Johnson because he is also dead. 07th in chat. This set of cutscene and codex essentially recaps the tanker chapter, including the end, which you didn't get to see. We are now on our way. Noting that we come out of that series of cutscenes and codex with the SOCOM equipped. We were not holding that previously, but we come out of that cutscene with a weapon equipped, which is fine. We're essentially just going to take the same route back down to B1, only we have a little bit further to go this time. We got to go fish mode. So we head down to B1. And there is a lot of debris and a bunch of random mines placed here and there that we need to avoid because we'll be becoming rather familiar with this area. Hopefully we can just get through here as quickly as possible. Look at Raiden's form.
I've never really considered it before, but who on earth came back here after this place got flooded to put mines in it?
I know, right?
Look, there's a mine right there. Who came and did that? This place isn't supposed to be underwater.
We all have our hobbies.
Maybe it was there the entire time. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Whoops. A slightly too eager press of the select button instead of the circle button to keep going. But we've opened the second hatch door, and now we're heading up to a boss arena. Ideally, this will be a blink and you miss it kind of situation. We met him in a cutscene earlier on, but everybody say hello to Vamp in a second, please.
And then get ready to say goodbye very quickly, hopefully. So this is the first Vamp fight. Carrow's going to change to the Stinger. They're going to shoot Stingers at the floor in rhythm, and that is going to be the end of the fight.
Yep, that was Vamp 1. It takes about 3 seconds, 6 shots to kill him on very easy, and if you mess that up, he goes back underwater and later resurfaces. And trying to get it. Say if you need 6 shots and you get 5. Trying to get him on the last shot has cost me a PB more times than I would care to count. More mines there, by the way.
There's another mine. Who put that mine there? Who did it? It wasn't Emma.
It certainly wasn't Emma. Speaking of Emma, Emma Emmerich, by the way, Hal Emmerich, aka Ottocon's sister, she has been stashed in this locker. She was kidnapped by the terrorists calling themselves the Sons of Liberty, and we are currently rescuing her. We haven't quite done that just yet, but we have a little bit of an escort mission to do because we need Emma's help to stop Arsenal Gear, essentially the physical location of Metal Gear Ray, or rather the physical location of, should I say, 25 replica Metal Gear Rays, which we're going to have to fight shortly enough. Spoilers, by the way. But fighting a Metal Gear in a Metal Gear Solid game, it's more likely than you think.
I do want to take a quick moment to welcome in all the raiders. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, hi. Hello, raiders. Lovely to have you here. We are currently making our way through the planned chapter of Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty with me, Carrowinabox, with Nick RP Green on commentary, and the wonderful Alara on host. This is Speed Docs 2024, and I'm having a lovely time. So more cutscenes, more codex, a little bit more swimming to do. We have luckily we leave the hatch door open because it'd be impossible to do that with like a 16-year-old on her back, trying to essentially use our own momentum to help herself swim, because she's been injected with tranquilizer. Her legs currently don't work very well at all, as you may have been able to see during the short little escort there we had to do. But we need to head back up to the first floor of the Shell 2 core, and we need to get the heck on out of Dodge, because time is of the essence, and Emma is our key to stopping the rise of Arsenal gear. Emma is afraid of water. Emma is also afraid of bugs, and wouldn't you know it? So we are supposed to use our coolant in casual play to essentially blast them away, but we got a speedrun to do, and this is unfortunately the best way to actually get Emma to come with you, which we didn't have to, but it is what it is. Up to the
gave her a nice hug.
Yeah, gave her a nice hug, reassuring hug. It's all going to be okay. I messed up my pathing there, but we were never going to beat this guard out the gate anyway. Canonically, this takes place on April 29th and 30th, 2009. We are currently in the evening of April 29th, 2009. That guard has obviously been patrolling all day and is completely oblivious to the absolute shitstorm going on directly underneath him. He was obviously also unaware of most other things, pretty tired, so we put him down for a nice nap. That second guard has to be taken out post-haste, because getting the backup guards in at this point can legitimately kill your run. They're scary as heck, and I'll explain why in a second. We're not going to get this cycle, so I'm going to trank that guard just for GP. At this point of the game, the backup guards have armor, they have shotguns, they have American accents for some reason, whereas the rest of the guards were Russian, and they're scary. In that room specifically, like literally an infinite number of guards can spawn once an alert is triggered, and it's not a fun time if you're speedrunning and you manage to mess up Shell 2 first floor. One thing we're not going to mess up here, whoops, that's the wrong weapon, so I did mess that up in a way, but we took out one cipher. We needed to queue up the PSG-1 anyway for shorter purposes. We'll have a little bit of fun with that weapon in a few moments, but we can avoid this second cipher. Hopefully we get this very convenient fire extinguished in time, or one side of it at least. No, we don't. Second time's the charm. Okay, yeah, but we do get spotted, so we need to take out this. Oh, we need to take out that guard. We need to take out that cipher. Oh, sorry, I'm all over the shop with this. Whoops. And
good.
Oh yeah, I'm good. But
Emma's on fire.
Oh crap. Yeah, that's not good. Okay. That was an example of everything that can go wrong in this specific room. You're welcome, chat. Yeah, so that was what I was hoping would not occur. This is the actual way to run this room. You come about halfway, take care of one cipher, and just for GP, we're going to take care of the second one as well. So we don't have a repeat of what happened last time. Yeah, that cipher, it won't survive your AK rounds regardless. And there's a guard over there that we're not going to interact with at all. We're going to sort this fire out, ideally as quickly as possible. Yep, we got it this time, and all it took was an unintentional death. Love that for me. Anyway, we proceed into strut L, and it's locked. We don't have a level 5 card. Actually, psych, we do. Emma had a level 5 card on her the entire time, which is a hell of a Deus Ex Machina. We need to take out these. Oh no. Okay, yeah. They did get half a radio call in, but in this room specifically, HQ doesn't call in immediately. It says, "What's going on? Respond twice." And it's actually very handy. We need to drag Emma in. We're not wasting time here at all. And we get pulled into the next set of cutscenes and codec calls. This is the famous Twilight sniping sequence. We gotta provide cover for Emma as she makes her way over to the Strut E parcel room. B2, which is a previously inaccessible area. That is the other side of the oil fence. We need to hold off guards and ciphers in the meantime. I have a few of those to take out, and essentially we can just jam out for a little bit and vibe and ask for a little bit of host input, but not quite yet. One guard there. One guard who I'm going to have to zoom in on a little bit. I was just to the left of him there. That's no problem. Emma is almost halfway across the first bridge. We're going to get an incoming codec call from Snake, indicating that he'll pick off whatever we don't want. But we don't need to use that function at all because, well, it's very easy, and there aren't as many guards and ciphers to deal with. There are a couple though, which will spawn in after this call. There's one up here. Top left. Not the best. Okay, second guard is out on the center of the lower platform and he has been disposed of. Emma is continuing to make her way over the first bridge, and I think now would be a good time for some host input. Alara?
That sounds fantastic. And for everyone, again, if you're just joining us, welcome to SDAT. We are raising money for Save the Children, and there is so much good that your money can do here. We've already raised almost $3,000, $2,795. We're just $205 away from that wonderful, wonderful 3,000. So help us round that out. And you know that every $1,000 can provide a tanker truck of clean water to a remote village during a drought. Which, you know, we're in the middle of a tanker in the ocean. Maybe let's help them provide some water. That would be pretty fantastic. Also, if you're just joining us new this year, we have a brand new feature. You can actually go to www.sdat.live for all the links to make a donation, to check the schedule, to see our raffle prizes. It's all there on our website. We also have a Patreon if you want to help. It's a little bit of a well-kept secret, but if you want to help support SDAT team with $1, $3, $5, every little bit of support can help. You can go to patreon.com/speeddocs or typing !Patreon in chat. Yeah. Save the Children led the massive worldwide effort that helped reduce the newborn deaths by over 40% since the year 2000, saving 1.5 million babies each year. That is a ton of good that your money's going towards. It's going to do so much for the organization as a whole. So just know that every little bit that you're sending in actually makes a massive difference. So thank you so much for all that help. Am I good to keep going, or do you have more things you want to say?
I think I'll hop back in here. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So Emma is over the second part of the bridge, and those two guards which spawn there, you can quickly dispose of. You can dispose of this cipher as well. But yes, as Alara was saying, you can donate to Save the Children. We are closing in on a new milestone of $3,000, and it would be absolutely wonderful if that target was hit. Anything you can give is massively appreciated by me and SDAT at large and Save the Children themselves, of course. So we have a little bit more to we have a little bit more to do here, but one of my favorite things about this part of the game is the OST. Twilight Sniping, composed by Harry Gregson Williams, and primarily composed by Harry Gregson Williams, should I say. It is an absolute jam and is one of the instances of I forget the actual musical term, but it's development. It's a developed theme that you first hear when you initially link up with Emma. You hear a more orchestrated version when you're in the core there, and this is the fully orchestrated version of the theme. It absolutely slaps and is probably one of my favorite parts of BGM in the entire series. How about you, Nick?
Twilight sniping is one of every runner's favorites. I'm no exception. I love the whole of the MGS2 soundtrack. It's a really solid It's really Metal Gear Solid. Oh dear! Please turn that PSG one on me. Shoot me. I don't deserve to be here. Oh, there's a cipher.
Yep, got it.
Now, if you remembered earlier, Carrow whipped out that stinger and took out Vamp very quickly. If you thought that was fast, here's Vamp 2. Bang.
No, that is not happening. I need to get more ammo. Whoops. This is going super wrong. I love this for me. So I couldn't.
There we go.
Yeah, I got it done. I couldn't quite replicate what I did with the stinger, but we got there in the end. We now enter endgame. There is some blood there. That is widely believed to be Emma's, I believe. She got stabbed, by the way. And Vamp is also 100% dead and will not be making a comeback in a future game of the series. That is absolutely not what happens later in the Metal Gear canon. We find ourselves on the lower floor of the Destroyed E parts of the room. There's a level 5 door there that was previously locked because we didn't have security access. And behind that door is a guard with his AirPods in. He can't hear us chat. He's probably jamming out to the Countdown to Disaster theme. But we can't worry about him. We have to be on our way. And after what happened earlier, I'm not messing around with these ciphers. I'm taking out all 3 of them. That last one you can avoid if you're quick enough, but I'm leaving nothing to chance considering the garbage fire that was my attempt at a tanker run. I'm actually supposed to make up for things toward the end of this run. There are bugs here. Note the symbolism. You will enter that lift just walking in the cutscene. I've tested it before, and no matter how many rolls you do, if you try to roll into it, the cutscene will load, but rather than walking into the elevator as usual, it will not save you time. And we're knocked out by Snake, reportedly double-crossing us, and we wake up face-to-face with the pilot of the Harrier II that tried to kill us earlier on, also our adopted father, also the former president of the United States, George Sears, aka Solid the Snake. He has Doc Ock arms, and he can do this with them. This is a tutorial section for well, I suppose you could call it quote-unquote torture segment later on in the run. We don't need to worry about it. We definitely don't need to worry about this on VE. We don't need to worry about the later one on VE either. We are now face-to-face with Olga Gorlukovich, aka Mr. X, aka Ninja, who has joined hands with Snake, who is also
keep this up.
Further along in the Arsenal gear structure waiting for us. He has something cool for us. He has a present for us. And Olga clearly also has a present for us in the form of a body shot that takes off approximately 1/16 of your health. As the difficulty levels scale up, eventually you'll arrive on European Extreme, and that shot will do 1/3 of your health. So the very scary guards in the next room kill you in 2 hits. It's not fun. Once we call Rose, we're released from the torture apparatus. We get feeling back on our wrists and discover that we are extremely naked and also wearing super cool sunglasses that you may have seen at some point during the run. We are now in the jejunum of Arsenal gear. and everything is totally going fine with Colonel Campbell. Pay no attention to that very weird codec call we just received. We need to find Snake, and we need to just completely ignore these codec calls. There's absolutely nothing irregular going on. There totally isn't a virus within Arsenal Gear wreaking havoc and causing Colonel to disturb us with rather disturbing content of calls. We take an alert here. The Arsenal Gear Tengus, not Tengoose, they are the highest level of difficulty of guard we can actually fight in this game. They're no match for us even on VE. We can just run straight past them. We need to wait here to receive 5 optional but basically mandatory codec calls. So we just need to stand here and we get to listen to the awesome orchestral soundtrack. That third codec call will bring whoever that is up on screen. I don't know who that is. She disappears with the next codec call, number 5. And that cue there, with the call coming in from Rose immediately thereafter, indicates that you're standing in the right spot to actually proceed with the game. We reunite with Snake, we get our gear back, and we're also gifted this handy dandy blade. Well, it's not called the handy dandy blade, it's called the high frequency blade. We are given essentially 40 seconds to familiarize ourselves with the mechanics of said blade. This is mainly for new players to familiarize themselves with the weapon, but us speedrunners only need to make one input, and then we can just vibe to the spooky corridor ambience for about 30 more seconds or so. We are waiting to enter the end game proper. I said this game would mostly feature no glitches or skips because that's just how I've learned it, but there's actually one I will hopefully be able to demonstrate in about a minute or so. Until then, we just get to stand here, pose and look extremely cool with our high frequency blade until the screen fades to black, indicating that enough time has passed. Take a call from Snake, a couple of cutscenes and codecs, and they even managed to get a cipher in here, hence why an alert is triggered. This is Tengu's 1. This is the first part of the endgame gauntlet, whereby we have to make our way through a room filled with all of these very scary guards who aren't all that Yeah, we're okay to go again.
All right, give me 1 second here. All right, and we're back. You can go ahead and resume.
Hi again, everyone. I know this game is at this point filled with technical glitches and red herring, but that's just ridiculous. We're in Tengu's 2. We need to eliminate as many of these guards as we can with the Stinger. That's one of the technical glitches I was telling you about. The AI in Arsenal gear is going haywire and telling us to abort the mission, but we can't. We're actually maybe only like 10 minutes away from finishing. So we need to see it out. Avoid these. You may notice that the game window is kept open, indicating that this is actually in fact a ruse and AI kernel is just trying to screw with us. This is the game's mind screw arc, which I'm moving way too fast through to actually properly explain to you, but you should look up the script for this game online sometime if you get the chance. It is quite the read. So we're through Tengu's 2. No thanks to technical issues of our own. And now we need to sit through roughly a minute-long speech from Solidus Snake. You cannot skip this. So what we just need to do is stand there, look cool as heck in our sunglasses, and just wait for him to essentially just
artificially reproduce
line out
Snake, the perfect
the reason why we were bait and it worked. This also includes one of my favorite line readings in the entire game. I know Nick is a fan of it too. It's coming up in about 30 seconds.
No, Jack. I'm sorry to see you reduced to one of the Patriots.
Solidus is massively underused in this series.
And their plan too.
And he is one of the best characters. He has one of the best voices.
It was obvious the Patriots were among my ranks.
Not to mention he has cool cybernetic arms as well.
Entered the final phase. You came in handy as bait.
There it is.
Those days during the Civil War
I love that.
as real as they come.
Coming up on the penultimate boss fight, we have to fight 25 Metal Gear Rays, chat.
Death.
LOL JK, we just have to fight 3 on very easy. It goes up as far as 20 on European Extreme.
Less than real.
We got to take care of these 3 real quick. And this is how we do it. Nick, you're on.
So the rays only take 1 hit in the mouth. So what Kara's going to do is shoot one in the leg, and then that causes it to open its mouth. Oh, see that here? So then 1 shot to the mouth, and that's the full health gone. And then 1 more shot to the leg, shot to the mouth, and that's your 3 rays.
Yep. Very quick.
Are you
And they bleed for some reason.
Yeah, they bleed.
The arsenal
Apparently,
is corrupt.
apparently Metal Gear Rays bleed, yeah.
I admit that I underestimated you.
But it's never properly explained. But we're expected to just roll with it at this stage in the game. It's just Metal Gear Solid 2 things.
I'll squeeze the
Anyway,
answers out of you instead, my son.
We're attacked, we wake up, and this is the torture sequence I was alluding to earlier on. It's no threat on VE. Our life gauge is going to deplete, our O2 gauge rather, is going to deplete anyway, and we need to mash as best we can to bring our life bar down around halfway. It's no threat on VE, but on higher difficulties, it can be extremely problematic. We're entering the final set of codec calls and cutscenes here.
For that torture sequence on higher difficulties, turbo is permitted.
Turbo is required.
Mostly for that reason. You're allowed to use it elsewhere in the game, but the main reason it was allowed in the first place is so that European extreme runners could actually get past that torture section.
Because OG
being able to mash really, really fast isn't a speedrunning skill, and it's also a fast track to RSI, which no one wants. Anyway, here's Solidus.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well. With that, but I was about to say, original European Extreme before the patch was maybe like 90 seconds of mashing of that torture sequence on like the highest difficulty level, which was basically a one-way path to RSI. We get choked here, unfortunately. Solidus takes 9 hits in the first phase and 6 hits in the second. This is the last boss fight of the game. We only have access to our high frequency blade. Essentially, it's a sword fight. And now we head into phase 2. This is where it gets interesting. He sheds his Doc Ock arms and doubles his speed, starts dashing around the arena like an absolute madman. Like that. Okay, we got backslash, no problem. We're also on fire. We can handle that. 3 more hits coming up on time here. Whoops. I need to pull myself up. Actually, we avoided that. Coming up on time here. And time. Whew. Good Lord.
That was a really tactical fall off the edge to avoid that.
Do you remember?
Avoid that stab. That was really intuitive.
This is where we first met.
It worked out. Like,
I remember.
In that boss fight, it feels like you're against Solidus and the camera. But that actually worked out in our favor. We got there in the end, Shan. Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty. Successful.
And you want to hear the best part?
Successful plan for
You were still.
Very easy. Yeah?
You were still underestimate.
I was underestimated?
Yep.
121,
I found
22.
something to pass along to the future.
What?
Goodness.
He said all living things want their genes.
That
So
makes
congratulations on that successful run.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of internally panicking when we had to nix the tanker part of the run, because I was like, oh no, what is this going to do? What is this going to do to the overall schedule of the run? What is this going to do to the estimate?
I mean, you basically did the entire tanker, from what I've been told.
Oh yeah, more or less. I just wasn't able to bring it home. I need to start going hard on that. I need to start going hard on that pretty much as soon as next week, because my next run is in person in Norway for NSG Fall 2024 on Sunday, September 22nd. I'll be running this game, Plant, not full game, at 9:50 a.m. Norway time, 8:50 a.m. UK. Way too early in the morning for US viewers, so you will probably be able to catch up on the VOD. But regardless, I'm gonna get back to running that. Before I close out, I'd just like to say a big thank you to Nick on comms. He's one of the main reasons why I'm speedrunning this game in the first place, and one of the main reasons why I'm streaming on Twitch in the first place is my wonderful girlfriend DuckVT. I know I've seen her in the chat. I know I've seen her make a couple of donuts as well. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this, the baptism of fire notwithstanding. I love you, baby. Thank you so much. You're one of the main reasons why I'm doing this, and I love you endlessly. In closing, thank you so much for having me, SDAT. It was a pleasure. We got over the hump in the end. I would be delighted to be back here another time, but for now, I think that's enough from me. I streamed this game periodically. My schedule is kind of all up in the air at the moment. I stream this game periodically over on twitch.tv/carrowinabox, and I also do Pokemon sometimes, but I'm primarily a Metal Gear speedrunner. I'm going to get back to that. I will be running this game again in Norway in a few weeks, but for now, I'm going to get out of your hair. Time for me to sneak on out of here. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. I need a drink. Okay, Carol.
Real quick,
good night.
before you go,
Yeah?
Nick, how can we follow you? Anything you want to say to the crowd?
You can find me twitch.tv/NickRPGreen. I'm, as Caro has alluded to, I'm also a Metal Gear speedrunner. I'm currently working through derussing all 5 games in the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection, with the intention of running all 5 back-to-back towards the end of the year. So if that's something that interests you, then yeah, come check me out, twitch.tv/NickRPGreen. And Caro, it has been a pleasure as always. I think this is the 3rd time we've done this.
Yeah, 3rd time.
This duo of you playing and me commentating, and it's an absolute blast every time. So thank you for having me back again.
Thank you. Okay.
All right, everyone. With that, let's say goodbye to all our friends, and I will see you all in a little bit with our next run, which is going to be Etiquette, running Donkey Kong 64 Randomizer.